Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today we're going to talk about some new products from Neutrogena. So I feel like Neutrogena is one of those brands that I always see at the drugstore, and I'll kind of glance, but I never really like stop and look at it. And for whatever reason, I was kind of drawn to the display at the store I was at the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm seeing all of these new launches, and I feel like usually when I look at the Neutrogena area, it's all stuff I've already seen before, but this time there was a ton of news. So I feel like they're launching a lot. They're kind of revamping a bit. It's still very Neutrogena. So when I think of Neutrogena, I kind of think of like, you know, skin loving kinds of ingredients. I think of, you know, kind of a fresh faced look. I don't think of Neutrogena when I think of like bold looks. Not that you can't get bold looks with it, but I think you know what I mean. So we have 3 products we're going to try today. We're going to start with their new Prep and Correct Primer. It is their brightening one. Now this is $15. Neutrogena can be kind of pricey when you think about other drugstore brands. However, I feel like now a lot of the drugstore brands are kind of up there in price, but I feel like maybe 10, 12 years ago, it was more that Neutrogena was more on the high end, and then like you could still get CoverGirl and stuff for like $5 to $8. Now it's like $10 and up for a lot of their products. Anyway, so they have 3 different colors of this primer. I chose the brightening one. I've been really drawn lately to more like purple tone lavender primers after trying the Clarins SOS primer. I think it was meant to brighten sallow skin, and I really liked that one. I can link it below, but this one's way cheaper, so I'm like, oh my gosh, if this can do something similar for, you know, more than half the price or less than half the price, you know what I mean? The math's there. The other colors they have are a green one that is their redness correcting one, and then they also have a kind of peach tone one that they call their tone correcting. So it's in a squeezy tube, just kind of standard. It's 1 ounce. It's a lighter purple, almost white, with like a purple hue. Ooh, that might be too much, but oh, it's like one of my favorite colors though, so I'm like really enjoying it. This might have been too much primer. I don't feel like I got that much out, but it really like, you'd almost think this is like an SPF the way it spreads around like that and like stays kind of white. So first impressions here, I don't enjoy applying it. This was not one that was pleasant to apply. They claim that this smooths the skin. It's got seaweed extract in all 3 of their primers. I feel like my skin feels soft and slightly moisturized, but I can't get this like kind of light white color to go away. Now here's the deal. I guess in theory that is brightening. You know, you look at my skin, it's like, well, it's certainly brighter, but they claim you can wear this alone, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe on camera it's looking okay, but in person it really does look kind of like I've got this like whitish purple mask on my face and then my like regular skin, you know. So upon first glance, I don't love it. Now, do I typically wear primers out alone? No. So for me, that's not really a deal breaker in any way, but it is good to know if you do like getting brightening primers and just wearing them as they are. I don't know that you'll love this one. And I'm also noticing that like purpley white is really catching in areas I've got like weirdness like around my nose. I don't hate it. I don't love it yet. We're going to see how this performs under the foundation we're going to try. So the foundation we're going to try today is new from Neutrogena. It's their Hydroboost Hydrating Foundation Stick. Now, Neutrogena's Hydroboost line is fantastic. They have amazing moisturizers. So many of you guys recommend it. I'm working on a drugstore skincare product video and kind of showing like a drugstore skincare routine. And that's one that I'm like, it has to be a part of it because it's such a great line. Neutrogena has a Hydro Boost concealer that I love. It's got like a moisturizing core in the center of it. It's in very similar packaging, just smaller. I love that. I pat it on. It's so quick and easy, especially for those kind of easy breezy days where you just need a little bit of coverage. You're not going for full coverage or perfection or anything like that. So this one retails for $16.99. They only have 8 shades. So they need to work on their shade range. Almay is the same. I feel like both of those brands in my mind are very similar in that they why is their shade range so terrible? How have they not caught on that that's important to us? And frankly, it's always been important, but especially now that other brands are like, oh, and they're getting wise to it, why are they still so, I don't know. So anyway, this is the lightest shade that they have. I have number 10, I think it's called Classic Ivory. What they say is so great about this is that it has hyaluronic acid, which does a great job of kind of holding moisture into your skin. I love it in skincare products. So the idea of it being in my foundation, for me, I'm like 80 thumbs up. That's amazing. So they say to apply it with your fingers or a brush, like to swipe it on and then use a brush or your fingers to apply it. So I'm gonna use the Sephora Pro number 94 brush. It's like this kind of thicker diffusing brush. And I'm gonna try one side of my face, just kind of using that. It definitely feels, it's not nearly as emollient as other foundation sticks I've tried, but you do kind of have to walk a fine line with foundation sticks where I feel like if it's too emollient, it just slides all around. But if it's too dry, you can't blend it in. So just doing that section of my cheek, I would not consider this like a dewy foundation, which again, not all foundation sticks are. I tend to like that because I like more dewy looks on the skin and I have drier skin. So, but I don't know, maybe it's more of a satin look. Let's try it on this side. I do think this brush is doing a good job blending it. I don't think you have a lot of time. I think it will start to set where you put it if you wait too long, so that's something to keep in mind. I feel like it's got medium coverage. I don't think this is gonna be one of those foundation sticks that's gonna provide really high coverage, but let's see if we can build this up. So it's a second layer. So the basically one layer, maybe 1.5 versus 2. I feel like there's slightly more coverage, but I don't think it's night and day. So again, I think they claimed that this was buildable. I don't think it's super buildable. You can build it a bit, but I don't think it's insanely buildable. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't like the way it looks on my nose. It's catching any bit of dryness I have there. How is this called a hydrating foundation stick? I just said hydrating weird. Hit the wrong emphasis on the wrong though. Hydrating. Maybe I'll start saying it that way. So the other claim with this is that it can be used as a contour stick or even for concealer. So we're gonna try it. They're basically saying you could take it and conceal where you need it. But again, their Hydroboost concealer in this same line that's a stick concealer is more hydrating than this for sure. And it definitely, you can see without and with, it definitely conceals, it definitely brightens. It's not super high coverage, but I feel like, you know, we already know that based on the foundation. But they were saying, you know, oh, you could go a few shades lighter, which there's only 8 shades, but you could go a shade or 2 lighter to do concealer. You could go a couple shades darker for contour. So they were saying it's great for contour. It'll stay in place, but it's super moisturizing. Again, I don't think it's the driest foundation stick I've ever tried, but I also don't find it to be super hydrating. It's kind of sticking in these areas. So I'm gonna use my finger to kind of melt some of this into the skin because I feel like sometimes when I only use a brush, any foundation will kind of stick to those areas that just kind of need to be melted into the skin. Here's what I'll say. This is just okay. I don't know that I want to use this all the time. However, I could see myself grabbing for this when I'm in a hurry because it's, like I said, it's not crazy drying, but I think it's very akin, but lighter coverage to the Makeup Revolution foundation stick that they have. I think that one has a little bit higher coverage. So if you're going for that and you like foundation sticks, definitely give that one a try. It's cheaper than this. They have way more shades. I do think this one's slightly more hydrating than that. And I think instead of using a brightening primer, if I had used more of a glowy or dewy primer, I think that would have been better under this. So I'm excited to give this a little more love with other primers, just play with it. I usually update you guys in the future, whether it's on social media. Sometimes I'll do like update videos, haul updates, things like that. So definitely stay tuned. I'm gonna have to do a really big collective one because I feel like I'm doing a lot of first impressions right now. So stay tuned for that, and I'll let you guys know as I've played with these more in different capacities, how my opinions have changed, if they have at all. But again, I'll use it. I could see myself putting this in my drawer in my bathroom where I get ready when I have like 5 minutes, because it is quick to swipe on. I can just grab a brush, blend it in. It's got some coverage, so it's something on the face. All right, so the other product I got is this Neutrogena Healthy Skin Blush in the shade number 10, Rosy. So let me get a little bit more of my face done and I'll pop back and we'll try this out. So next up is their blush. So this, they say, designed to blend evenly and instantly enhance skin's healthy glow, and it's got vitamin C and botanical conditioners. By the way, I did end up setting my face with the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder, my favorite loose powder ever. I feel like it added just a little bit more coverage. I needed to set my cheeks anyway before I put blush on it since it's a powder blush. However, as I looked at my skin, especially here in my T-zone in different lighting, like in my makeup mirror, I really don't know that I love this foundation on my skin. If you've got dry skin, I don't think it's really that hydrating. So I'm so confused. I feel like they could have, I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea. I think I'm just realizing, I guess that's it. So I love the peachy shade. That actually packs a little bit of a punch. So I do need to blend that a bit, obviously. I'm just gonna kind of tap it in with that brush we used for our foundation. I actually really, really like that blush. I like the shade. That was really easy. It didn't get caught in weird areas. It was very kind of seamless. Don't you guys feel like it looks really seamless? So if I were to rank these 3 Neutrogena products that I just tried, I would say my favorite product of them all was this blush. I will continue to use this, I can tell you right now. I feel like it even added a glow, even though this is not like a glowy blush at all. I would say at max, it's a satin. There's no like glitter or anything, not even really shimmer. But I feel like it still added kind of a glow to my cheeks, which is really pretty. And it's kind of multitasking in that way. I don't feel like I have to wear a highlight if I don't have the time or I don't want to, whatever. It looks nice. I don't really love either of these products. I think the primer was okay, but there's so much better out there. Essence, I've been trying this Fresh, I think it's called like Fresh Fit, hold on. This Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Primer. It's pore minimizing, it's got a glow, it's got vitamin complex temperate. I like this better and it's cheaper. So I will link this below. I think this is a prettier primer. You can save some money. Kind of gives a glow. And in my opinion, that's more brightening than this. I just felt like this made my skin look kind of, I guess technically brightened, but just white and purple and just odd. It didn't, I don't know. It was not a pleasure to use. So I think it looks fine under this, but I don't think it's a necessary step. And then I've already shared my thoughts on this foundation. I don't think it's right for dry skin, despite the fact that it's called a hydrating foundation. Now, I am gonna play with it with more hydrating primers here, because I think that'll definitely help. But what I've noticed with my dry skin is even when I use incredibly hydrating products underneath some foundations, they still do it. So, you know, it's not always a fix-all for anything like that, but I will give it a try and let you guys know. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I enjoy doing these kind of curated product try-on reviews instead of trying like 15 things in every single video. I'd rather try a couple so I could really dig into them, try them on, and focus on them instead of trying to cover a lot of ground in one video. Now, I do like doing like my full face brand reviews and things like that, and I'll still do those, but it'll be splashed in with more smaller collections of products to review. Let me know if there are any videos or products you would like me to test out. I would love to try them out for you guys and share with you guys my thoughts. And other than that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.